victory for the Red Wings? No, not necessarily. Would it help? You bet.
They have not had one yet in this series. Faceoff goes to the Avs, and Kasparaitis will dump that through center at the blue line. Sakic's line out there. Ryan Fred and Hayduk. Hayduk in the corner. Hayduk has not had a point in 4 games. He is due. He leads this team in shots in this series, but as of yet, nothing to show for it. Third back up for Olofsson. Adam Foote letting go by. Played back by Kasparaitis. Steve Yzerman out there on the line with Fedorov and Shanahan now against Sakic, who stays out. Colorado making a quick line change as Sakic heads to the bench. Fedorov had it knocked away. Forsberg out. Dumped in along the near side boards. Forsberg, Chris Drury, and Brian Wilsey on this line. Wilsey, the intercept, center, shot, Hasek. Whoa! On the short side, Dominik Hasek, almost another first goal for Colorado. Drury with an outstanding play to help set that up. Played behind the net. DeVries coming back to get it.
And the biggest challenge for the Avs is fighting adrenaline and trying not to win the game in the first 5 minutes. You do that very often, you make mistakes. No mistakes here.
Taken down low, wrap around Messier. Hasek just able to find it. Adam Foote, shot blocked. And Colorado comes up with the early jump. Taken away from Maltby by Foote. DeVries sends it ahead. It bounced off Darren McCarty. Back to center. We'll show you scratches in detail, but Mike Keane and Dan Heinold are not playing, nor is Alex Tanguay for Colorado. Picked back up by Chelios. Near side into the zone by Draper. The grind line. Chris Draper is poked away to the point, held in there, and left behind the net. Holmstrom actually covered at the point that time. Holmstrom right there on the left side. Shot wide on Patrick Waugh. Held in near side boards. Detroit putting some pressure on. Draper knocked it away. Draper got it back in behind the net. Holmstrom stepping up. They get the defenseman back there. Matthew Dandino actually been caught up ice, and Holmstrom ended up playing defense for about 20 seconds. That's Dandino, a chance, deflected. Holmstrom looking for it. Tied up in the middle to Breeze the puck, and he'll flip that one up and into the seats. The netminders tonight, as they've been throughout the playoffs, Dominik Hasek.
Well, the stakes have been raised for Dominik Hasek just about as high as they can. Facing elimination for the first time in the playoffs. I think one of the differences in this series has been the play of Dominik Hasek versus that of Patrick Waugh. Patrick Waugh has been just this much better, enough to be ahead in the series. Chris Drury with a chance on the very first shift of the game. Eric Messier, a plugger and a block shot expert, trying the wraparound. Dominik Hasek with a real good save on it.
Boy, that was close. Frederick Olsson's got it on the near side. Before we can forget our congratulations to the Carolina Hurricanes. What a season. To the finals they go. They await the winner of this. Joe Sakic dumped it in behind the net to Reinfred. Reinfred looking to the point. Colorado is shipping their D down low right away in this game. Hayduk. Hayduk to the middle. Hayduk a chance. Save. Hasek. Rebound goes wide. And both Reinfred, Sakic, DeVries is in front of the net with the puck foot save made. I mean, Colorado had nobody at the blue line for a moment. Both of the defensemen were down below the dots. Reinfred takes it back. They're going for the victory early. Here's Sakic. Sakic spinning, takes the shot wide of the net. Rebounded far side to Devereaux, clears it out.
Well, really, Colorado is really picking up where they left off in Game 5 because they activated their defensemen. Keep in mind, against a team as skilled as the Detroit Red Wings, as fast as the Detroit Red Wings, it's a double-edged sword. You've got to be smart when you activate your defensemen.
It'll be played by Hasek. Fedorov had been moving in. He cut Drury off, so he could not get there. Fedorov will pick up the loose puck. Sergei Fedorov, 1 goal, 2 assists in the last 3 games, but he's had only 1 goal in the last 11 for Fedorov. Shanahan up with a forecheck. He'll be cleared back out to center. Detroit, Fisher will wait as they get on side. Chris Chelios got it up ice, and that's going to be whistled. Shanahan in on the left wing side.
One of the guys for the Colorado Avs, Steven Reinfred, has to be working off ice on his vertical leap. We had a replay of him in Game 5. Here he is again in Game 6. He gets airborne on the shots. He wants to end up with the screen, which he maintains even by jumping. But he also wants to get out of the way. The last thing that he wants to do is block the shot. We mentioned the guys that are not in the lineup. They have lost 1 a game for the last 3 games. Colorado has. Dan Heinold went out in Game 5. Mike Keane went out in game 3. Alex Tanguay went out in game 4. You might have noticed Pascal Trepanier up as a forward on the last shift playing right wing.
Trepanier playing in just his second game of the playoff year. That one from the point goes wide. Rebounded near side Dandino. Dandino waited, dumped it into the corner. Holmstrom got tied up there. Dropped back to him. He's still tied up. That was for Larionov, and it comes to center. We may see both of these teams going through some line changes tonight. Scotty Bowman will do it if he doesn't sense offense coming their way. And Bob Hartley will do it if he senses he needs to play his stars more. Oh, Yell went down hard. Yell getting up, holding on to that right shoulder a bit. He's still there. Shot deflected behind the net. May have hit Holmstrom on the way through. He's the Red Wing who fell. Played on the far side, Dandino. And you do have a sense of extreme urgency early in this game.
No kidding.
Both teams.
Especially in front of Patrick Waugh. What a battle between Muir and Holmstrom.
Played back in the corner by Igor Larionov. A takedown far side. Here's Robitaille. Save made right into the chest. Rebounded back to Duchesne. Duchesne, Larionov cutting. Larionov, they've got Holmstrom in front, banging away. Open, Robitaille missed the net. He had nobody within 10 feet of him.
He couldn't have known he had that much time.
Turned around and wheeled, and there was nobody there to wave off any icing. Nick Lidstrom back to get it. We'll see how much Pascal Trepanier is used in this game by Colorado, and how much that results in line changes for the Avs. Oleson's pass got blocked back to center by Larson. Cleared back into the zone. Kasparaitis coming back to get it. It goes to Foot from Waugh. Foot cleared it up the near side. It hit off Trepanier into the middle of Brad Larson. Larson moving. Kasparaitis joins. His shot save made Hasek, and Hasek will cover it up with Larson moving in.
Well, if you don't think this isn't desperation time for both of these teams, and the Avs are placing as high a priority on this game as Detroit, even though they're not facing elimination, check out the action in front of Patrick Waugh. With Holmstrom there, both Marty Skula, and Brian Muir at different times doing battle with Holmstrom. Watch this play by Stefan Yell. This is if nothing else tells you that the Avs are desperate, that will. You're giving up your own body to make a play like that, knowing that the boards are coming up in less than a second.
Thought he might have had his shoulder on that, but he got up and walked away. Sakic on the draws, 150% of them. Sergei Fedorov took that one and won it. Cleared back up for Yzerman on the near side. Fedorov this playoff year at 49% on draws. Sakic's open for a minute. Sakic shot, save made. Partially deflected on the way in by Chelios, but he turned him. No score here in the first period, and for Patrick Waugh in net, another chance to add to that storied record book of victories when you have a chance to put a team away.
Only shutouts in both of those situations this season in the playoffs. Game 7 against Los Angeles, Game 7 against the San Jose Sharks. A couple of shutouts pitched by Patrick Waugh. And we've said this before, but if you've watched Patrick Waugh in his career, you know the bigger the circumstance, generally speaking, the better he is.
Sakic won the draw, gets the return pass. Sakic, Ryan Prett with him, and Hayduk roll back out the center. Kasparaitis will come back to play it. The defenseman joining the offense for the Avs, maybe one of the reasons Colorado defensemen have 12 points in this series, and Detroit's defensemen have 4.
Gary, what's amazing is Colorado plays primarily 4 defensemen. To think that they not only have the energy to do that in the first period, the second period, but then win hockey games in the third is quite something.
Amazing. Here's Chelios with it. Chelios turning it back up ice, his 204th playoff game for Chris Chelios. Sent around the near side. Shanahan stepped up. Kasparaitis had it. Got it over to Foot. Foot tried to clear it around the boards. Got it hard enough so they could clear. Intended for Forsberg. This will be an icing call coming on the touch. Exclusive coverage ESPN from Denver.
Forget golf. Maybe you're a ping pong man.
What's wrong with you? She's looking right at you, man.
I know.
Killian's Irish Red. One look says a lot.
Draper drops it. Shanahan in for the game winner. Shanahan! Down the post! He had one! 4 feet out of the crease. Brendan Shanahan with a chance to put it away. After that game, Brendan Shanahan said, fate has not been kind to us, but it's not because of the way they're playing. They still believe. Darren McCarty trying to center. DeVries gets it.
Well, Gary, don't hang that miss on Brendan Shanahan. If you look at that replay closely, you see a terrific defensive play by Peter Forsberg. It was a sharp angle anyway, and then Forsberg made it even sharper.
Just enough of that stick to prevent it from going where Shanahan wanted. Messier in behind the net. Taken away by Lidstrom. Cleared back up and out. Here's Blake at center. Blake out there with DeVries defensively. They got a chance for 2-on-1. Didn't see it. Brought in fireside Trepanier, who was open for a moment. Cleared back out by Detroit. They've got to get onside. The Avs do. Lidstrom will intercept Kasparaitis' attempted dump in. Comes back to Olofsson on the near side. Early shots in this game, not many. 4-1 right now on the board in favor of the Avs. That one rolls to the near side. Left behind the net, kicked away by Devereaux. Devereaux wraparound. Patrick Roy was there.
What a beautiful wraparound by Boyd Devereaux. That had net written all over it.
Our man downstairs with the best seats in the house, Brian Engblom.
You guys were just talking about Brendan Shanahan. There's been a lot of talk about Hull and Shanahan and the big players not being able to score enough goals in this series. We want to show you some of the reasons why. Well, Brett Hull has had chances, but it's been some excellent defensive plays against them. Some shot blocking by Eric Messier in the last game. You talk about Peter Forsberg offensively. Look at him stealing that chance for Hull in that one. And Forsberg again in the Shanahan chance that you just saw. Watch Forsberg stick. Bill, you just mentioned it. Absolutely the reason that Brendan Shanahan missed that open net was that guy right there.
Great play. Forsberg, of course, has done it all so far in this series. Hull had a chop at that one as it got blocked. Went into the corner. Pass attempted out. Couldn't get it. Datsuk coming over to help. Datsuk waiting. Big first period, Boyd Devereaux. Sakic and Forsberg are now on the ice together. We told you we'd see some line changes here. We're getting them early. Sakic and Forsberg working together. Rarely has happened here in this series except on power plays. They're out there now. Forsberg, Sakic on the right. Forsberg chance right to Sakic. Almost. Just off his stick. Boyd Devereaux will turn it ahead. That'll be sent in, and Hull's line for Detroit will head off. Colorado will respond. Marty Skula leads it for Blake. Blake ahead. Chipped in. Forsberg got a piece before he went to the bench. Up the near side for Yzerman. Matthew Dandino in defense back to help as it got knocked away by Reinfeldt. That was Drury closing in. Near side to Steve Yzerman and dropped into the zone. Yzerman, 6 goals, 10 assists this playoff year. Playing with that bad leg and a big-time brace on it, all the way from the mid-thigh area to halfway down the calf. Is Drury. Drury whistled. They were offside.
Good play by Nick Lidstrom there. All you want to do is force the player to make a move at the blue line, force an offside. Boyd Devereaux with his wraparound chance. Here it is. He's got great wood on him for a backhand. Remember, he's working against the curve on a stick. Chris Drury was there. Good defensive position to clear. But Boyd Devereaux, that's really hard to do. Unless you try it, you don't know how tough it is to execute a real good wraparound on the backhand. Devereaux executed a beauty.
He's got 2 goals, 2 assists in the playoffs, and that +3 going for him here. Faceoff will be outside the line. Joe Sakic to take the draw. Both of these teams skated this morning. Almost everybody was present. Only the players who are playing hurt, like Steve Yzerman, missed the morning skate today. Loose in behind the net, Kasparaitis. Yzerman put the hit on and went down. Dump back to Yzerman to Shanahan. Shanahan has not had a goal in 5 games. Still tied, however, for 5th in points in the playoffs. Wide with Olofsson cutting. Hayduk dug it out. Back for Kasparaitis to Hayduk to Kasparaitis. Falling down, got it in on side. Cleared back up to the blue line. Colorado has offside. It had come outside the line. No score. First period, a must-win game for Detroit. Join ESPN tomorrow, 9 o'clock. Bob Lee.
Bob Hartley, the head coach of the Avalanche. Remember, this team trailed in this series. 5 times since 1996, this team has trailed in a series and ended up winning the series. Neither of these team panics. That's why this is going to be a terrific hockey game. The Red Wings are so full of veteran players. The Avalanche have so many big-name players that are used to playing in clutch situations.
It's already kind of settled in, Bill. You get through that first 10 minutes and the adrenaline still flowing, but you get back to thinking, playing based on your mind more than the adrenaline. Chase down, Dominik Hasek back to get it. These teams meeting in the playoffs for the 5th time ever. In the previous 4, Colorado has come away, eliminating the Detroit Red Wings in 3 of them. That one deflected into the corner. Larson's got it. Cleared up and out. Robitaille was back covering, just dished it off the boards. Avs will get it back and want to change. So Larson sends that in. Dominik Hasek played it back in behind the net. The head-to-head matchup now between these two goaltenders in favor of Hasek. 10, 7, and 3 in the games they have played against one another in their history. Touched up by DeVries. The icing call. We're zip. More than halfway through period number 1 of Game 6. This time it's Detroit as Fred Hull has come out to play with the grind unit. Maltby off the face-off, one Draper. So Hull has taken McCarty's place for this shift at least. That one sent in. Could be an icing call. No, wide to play it. Good hustle by Draper. DeVries off the boards for Ryan Frederick. Couldn't handle. Taken back by Chelios in his own end. Sakic up on the check. Off the near side boards, played by Hull. Got it off the far side. Hull cutting to the net. Shot Draper. Save made Waugh. Played by DeVries. Scotty Bowman telling us this morning, I'm not happy with the way my team is dumping the puck in. I want it skated and passed into the zone. Keep an eye on Detroit tonight. See whether or not they do that.
That too is a double-edged sword, because if you turn the puck over, remember the overtime goal in Game 5 turned out to be a turnover in combination with a line change that went bad for Detroit that led to the ultimate game winner. Scotty Bowman has never lost 3 series to the same opposing coach. And if he loses this one, Bob Hartley will become the first coach ever to defeat Scotty 3 times in a series, or 3 times in a career.
Scotty's hoping this thing moves on Friday back to Detroit. That's where it'll go if it's a Game 7. Shots right now are 4-4. Face-offs, Detroit with an early advantage, 8-2 on the face-offs in favor of the Red Wings early on in this game. This face-off to the right of Patrick Waugh. And off the draw, one again, Yzerman. Dumped back in behind the net. Steve Yzerman came back to get it tied up. Shanahan center, knocked away by Drury. Drury left and missed one shift with an equipment problem. He's right back out. Peter Forsberg in. Forsberg trying to line it up. Kasparaitis had to go by him. Didn't realize where it was. Sends it back. Ryan Wilsey. Wilsey has played exceptionally well in the 2 previous games. A rookie, his first playoff experience, and has played a lot wiser than that on the ice. Drury intercepted. Off the near side, Forsberg doing battle, and I mean doing battle with Olsson. Chipped away to Kasparaitis, to Forsberg. Forsberg looking for a little help here. Tried to dump it down the wall. Olsson hit him in the chops. Cleared back out the center, Shanahan. Shanahan moving it in. Shuts it down. Shanahan didn't dump, you note. It'll be held on to by Patrick Waugh.
Well, and Peter Forsberg has not faced, in his mind, a lot of physical play against the Red Wings. He's going to face it here in Game 6. Frederick Olsson. First of all, he came down on Olsson. As soon as Olsson saw that he was fumbling the puck, good stick work by Olsson to poke it away. And then Peter Forsberg just running out of time, running out of real estate. But Olsson with the finish right under the chin of Forsberg. Mentioned Brian Wilsey too, Gary. Brian Wilsey is picking up where they left off. It worked in overtime, that combination. Go back to it.
Duchesne, that one knocked down by Waugh, and then he had to take care of the rebound as well. They've got Robitaille in the high slot. Pass to him, blocked by DeVries. Shot back off the defenseman's stick by Sergei Fedorov. The step up against Messier by Dandino. Loose in the corner. Holmstrom over to help. Fedorov kicked it to him. Holmstrom with DeVries bumping on him. Holmstrom with that great strength, trying to turn it back on top. Could not. Fedorov came back to get it. Fedorov near side. Dandino, big puck challenge. It's loose near side. Fedorov can't get to it. What a pile up. Waugh got knocked down. He's back up. Duchesne shot blocked by Larson, and they collide. Yell trying to clear it out. Tied up on the boards. It comes to center. Messier's got a headlock over there on Fedorov. Both teams change it.
If you're expecting something conservative out of this game, it's apparent that we're not going to see it. Both teams activating their defense. This is going to be great. Yep. Both teams activating their defensemen. Dandino was right in the paint on that last chance.
That one will be chipped in by Verbata into the corner. Nadine Verbata, the rookie, playing in just his 8th playoff game ever this season and looking for his first playoff point. Turned by Marty Skula. Couldn't clear. Double teamed over there. Foot comes back to help. Skula's the man they're working in and out defensively as the 5th defenseman for Colorado. That one at center, bounced back into the zone. Would have been offside. Won't matter though. Skula brings it out. Larionov had it, lost it. Verbata sends that one in. Hasek directing traffic. Trepanier moved up to hit on Fisher as Fisher got rid of it. Line changes. 7 minutes left to go here in the first period. 5-4 the shots in favor of Detroit. Near side to Skula, but no score. And it has been offensive. Both of these teams deciding their best defenses in offense. Sakic centered. Hejduk tied up by Chelios. They go to the corner. Chelios' stick caught under Hejduk's jersey. Coming back is Darren McCarty in a 3-on-2, 3-on-3 back checking. What a job! What a back check by Ryan Prent. Not only did he get back, he got the puck.
But again, Yuri Fisher, a defenseman for Detroit, jumping right into the hash marks. I mean, you got to like the way Detroit is approaching this game. They had to take a note from what Colorado did in Game 5. Colorado activated their D-men. The Red Wings are not about to go down without swinging.
It's the old adage in sports, Bill. Are you going to play to win or play not to lose?
You bet, and the Red Wings are playing to win right now. For that matter, so are the Avs, and that's why this is good.
Both of these teams doing that. DeVries sends it far side. Blake a little opening. Tried to hit Drury in the middle, blocked by Maltby. Blake will come back and pick it up. Blake tied for second with 12 points among defensemen this playoff year. Both teams changing. Again, you see Detroit bringing it in on the fly. Shot Fedorov knocked away on the short side. Left behind the net. Fedorov along the near side board. Shanahan knocked it down first. Shanahan tried to center it. It got bumped away by DeVries. Lidstrom will come back to help on Dominic Hasek and take it back in behind the net. Detroit in their great history, 37 wins, 37 losses in elimination playoff games through their illustrious history. And for the Detroit Red Wings, there's a lot of that, 76 years worth. Penalty coming up, first one of the game, another haul down. Detroit's going to get the call here. There's the whistle. 5:17 to go in the period. First penalty of the game.
Stefan Yell is going to go. He took down Steve Yzerman right in front of the Avalanche bench.
Minor penalty on the play, number 26, Colorado. 2 minutes, chip.
So the Red Wings, who have not scored the first goal in any of the first 5 games, get their chance now.
Out of there. So here's the first power play of the game. It goes to the Detroit Red Wings. See if Detroit can get their power play going. They've gone 3 for 19 in this series. Their power play is exactly what it was in the regular season. 20.3% effective. Near side. Sakic's out on the penalty kill. Blake was able to clear that one out of there.
And Joe Sakic's gone off. He was just out there for the faceoff. Brad Larson comes out. Remember, Dan Heinold and Mike Keane both out of the lineup, both penalty killers for the Avs.
And an offside. Detroit Red Wings put together a team of veteran Hall of Fame players. Mike Ilitch agreeing to spend the money to get a team to a point where they're ready to win this year. That's what this season has been all about for the Red Wings.
So much has been made of the Detroit Red Wings and their payroll and their desire to win and the people they brought in. Colorado's payroll is not a heck of a lot behind Detroit's.
Just behind it.
They're built to win too.
Absolutely. Amazing thing to me about that is they have had 4 rookies playing. Lidstrom, shot deflected. Power play Detroit. Keep in mind the Avalanche have not given up a power play goal on their home ice in the last 27 chances. Pretty good penalty killing. Obviously the best on the home ice surface in this playoff year. Larionov, Holmstrom set up in front. Kicked it back to the point. Lidstrom near side, a one-timer. While reaching, probably would have been wide. He hung on. Holmstrom didn't like the fact he got hit by Foote. So he turned around and hit DeVries. And then Foote said, no, that was me.
But you got both of us to deal with. Holmstrom had a pretty good screen. I'm not sure what part of Holmstrom's body Patrick Waugh was looking through or around to catch this. But it was tailor-made for a one-timer. Looked like he was able to see to Holmstrom's left. But any player after the play, too, when the whistle blows, when you knock him like that, they'll go down. You got to try and do whatever you can this stage of the season.
There's the owner and GM of the home Colorado Avalanche, hoping tonight they will get to celebrate a Western Conference Final championship game.
Not a lot of chit-chat, huh?
Not a lot of chit-chat anywhere tonight.
Hearts beating fast. As Brian Englund said before the game, he said the beat you hear in your ear is your own heart beating.
That was Duchesne's shot deflected wide. Chelios came back to get it. 6-4 of the shots in favor of Detroit. Power play's got 50 seconds left on it. Red Wings, though, will have to chase it down. Steve Yzerman has 4 power play goals, tied for first this playoff year. A couple picked up by Tanguay, who's not playing anymore for Colorado, have led the Avalanche in this series. Behind the net, Messier, good forechecking job. Larionov had to come back to get it. Rico Hall's out there in the penalty killing unit now. That'll be sent in. Hard around to Robitaille, who tied his man up. Puck went back behind the net to DeVries. He tips it in the air, played it up, hit Rico Hall in the foot though. Jumped back along the near side wall. Avs trying to get it out of there. Robitaille held it in. Deflected into the slot area, and their foot will bring it out. And up ice. Power play still underway, but a shot blocked into the corner. Chelios. Play by Adam Foote, ragged it all the way up.
And never any sustained pressure by the Red Wings. Good kill by the Avs.
One shot on that power play for Detroit.
You know, one of the keys is Patrick Roy, since early in this series, had decided not to come out of the net to get pucks behind him on the hard rims. He's letting his guys fight it out on the boards. And you know what? That is a change for them, and they've been successful with the change.
They've been winning those battles.
Absolutely.
Dominic Hasek back to get it. Lidstrom will come back. Nick Lidstrom leading all the players in ice time in the playoffs. Still remaining 30 minutes, 24 seconds a game. Darren McCarty couldn't find it in the skates. Drury tried to clear it up. It bounced back to him. Played back into the middle. Kasparaitis, Forsberg near side. Kasparaitis brought it in. Olsen able to knock it away. Still not out of the zone. Forsberg's got it. Drury heads to the middle. Forsberg turning, looking for a defenseman on that far side. Will take to the middle himself. Still gets open. A shot missed it wide. But that's the way he has played this playoff year. Kasparaitis hit and knocked down by Darren McCarty. He's all right. Back the other way. It's a 1-on-2. Backhander on Waugh. Save off Draper. Both teams in a line change. And the flip to get the line change done. Chelios chases back. But there might be an icing. There wasn't. It comes over to Yuri Fisher.
And you wonder why it's hard to play man-to-man coverage on Peter Forsberg. Yeah.
What a playoff year. Goes through the wickets of DeVries. Off the wall near side. The battle for it still loose. Haydu got it out of there. Played back by Chelios. Far side. Marty Skula. Skula and DeVries. Back will come Yuri Fisher. 21-year-old Czech Republic. 3 goals, 2 assists in the playoffs. Chelios ahead to Hull. Hull trying to clear that one in and could not. Big scorers for Detroit in this series. That's what they're looking for. Fedorov has had a goal. Yzerman has had 1 goal. Shanahan has not had one yet. There's Peter Forsberg. Another chapter being written.
If you try to take him physically, he will show you how he can play like a linebacker. If you decide to take the puck on him, he will show you that he has the hands of a surgeon. And that didn't touch a thing. I wondered if it had deflected wide. It just found daylight and zipped by the post. Boy, he cuts back so well. Olsen did a heck of a job even to get a piece of his stick. From our Southwest Airlines goal cam, you'll see what Dominic Hasek was having to deal with. Chris Drury had locked out Nick Lidstrom and was just waiting to pounce on a rebound.
Peter Forsberg started this playoff year tied for 56th in playoff points. He's now 31st. Moved up 25 places so far this playoff year. Taken back in behind the net by Adam Foote. Adam Foote, more ice time than any other Av this playoff season, over 28 a game. And they have been tough minutes. This will be touched up by Dandenault and an icing call. Under a minute left to go in period number 1. Coming up, 10 o'clock, ESPN2. Barry Bonds, the Giants. Louis Gonzalez, the Diamondbacks. This week's edition of Wednesday Night Baseball. The top teams in the West at 10 o'clock, ESPN2. Right now, Bonds tied with Sosa for the Major League lead in homers, 18. And 585 career homers. He's one behind Frank Robinson going into that game.
Scotty Bowman has settled into some regular line rotations. But boy, was he mixing and matching through the first 10 minutes of this game. 8 different line combinations through the first 10 minutes of the first period here in Game 6.
Trying to find that offense. Off the face-off, it got tied up in the circle. Yzerman and Sakic. Sakic will get credit for the win. Forsberg trying to kick it out, did not down low. Yzerman tied up by Blake. Rob Blake just saved a goal. Off the point, Lidstrom shot. Yzerman knocked it down. And Blake saved. The goal counts. The goal counts. The goal counts. Patrick Roy thought he had it in the glove. He went to hold it up. It fell down behind him and went in. And Yzerman has scored with 38 seconds to go in the first period.
What an incredible finish. What an amazing finish. When Steve Yzerman missed the first one, the first thought was he may never score again with a chance like that. He gets a second chance, and it looked like Patrick Roy was stoning him. Rob Blake with an exquisite defensive play on Steve Yzerman. What happens? They come right back and Steve Yzerman with another chance. Robbed, it looked like, by Patrick Waugh. I've got it. Oh my gosh, I don't have it. Brendan Shanahan was in there too. I still don't know who scored it. But Patrick Waugh thought he had it in his glove, and he did not. He did not.
We'll have to wait for the call whether that crossed the line before somebody else hit it or not. But what a goal. Steve Yzerman, amazing. That is for Yzerman, the second he has picked up in this series. It is the first time Detroit has scored first against Colorado. If he gets it.
I can't imagine why Patrick Waugh was so sure he had it in his glove.
He must have felt he felt it there.
What did he feel? I mean, you know, you think he watches it, he follows it in with his eyes. Brendan Shanahan and Steve Yzerman were both there, and you know what? They probably don't care. Patrick Waugh, when he realized his mistake, went, I'm not sure I've ever done that before.
They're going to give it to Brendan Shanahan. Steve Yzerman will end up getting one of the assists, and Fedorov will get the other. So one of the big players that Detroit wanted to get going is going. Brendan Shanahan has a goal.
And the most important one, because he was their leading goal scorer during the regular season, and Shanahan had not scored in this series. Fedorov had one, Robitaille had one, Steve Yzerman scored in Game 5. Now Brendan Shanahan's alive.
Intercepted. It would have been offside. Detroit will get it back. 2 seconds left to go. Juan knocked that one down, but he's still stunned by the goal. 19-21. Shanahan put it home. His first of this series, 5th of the playoffs, from Yzerman and Fedorov. Brendan Shanahan with the only goal of the period to give Detroit a 1-0 lead. John and Barry standing by are going to take a look at Urbe's journey to the finals, and Barry will have the breakdown, our Dodge intermission report coming up. The shots are 10-4 in favor of Detroit. More importantly, Bill Clement, welcome back, everybody. Wow.
Well, it cost them at least the lead, Gary, and that's something Detroit, and I said at the start of the game, would the lead guarantee the Detroit Red Wings of a win here? No. Would it help? Absolutely. Both of these teams admit that they, especially the Red Wings, they say it's a luxury to play with the lead. Dominik Hasek wants the lead. Chris Draper, Igor Larionov, pick a guy. They all say they would rather play from ahead than behind, and that's what they have now that they haven't had. This is only the second lead for the Detroit Red Wings in this series since the 3rd period of Game 1.
Well, we go to period number 2. The Avs have got to shake off one of those goals at the end that really hurts. First lead regulation since the 3rd period of Game 1 for Detroit. Can they hang on to it? They face off won by the Avs. And a 2-line pass near side for Hayduk. That will draw the whistle. For the Detroit Red Wings, if they can win it, they take this back home for a Game 7 at the Joe on Friday. The last time they won an elimination game was 96 against St. Louis. Since then, they have lost 4 consecutive elimination games.
But
trying to avoid that tonight.
Imagine holding Colorado without a shot the last 14 minutes of the 1st period.
It's amazing. I mean, 4 shots on goal to the Avs in the period.
What is underrated in this series is how Detroit can defend. In 8 periods coming into Game 6, they held the Avs to 7 shots or fewer. And that is tremendous D.
They were the 3rd best defensive team. Hasek, a big save. Hayduk had room on the right. Sergei Fedorov's got it onside. Shot, save, and he holds this one out. You want to talk about being cocky? How about that? 32 seconds into the period, after he had given up a goal, trying to do a Statue of Liberty when he didn't have the puck, he comes right back and says, yeah, well, watch this.
I got this one. I think, I know, I'm going to go ahead and do it.
Oh, man.
Milan Hayduk with a great shot, and it looked like a routine save for Hasek. It wasn't. The great speed and leg drive of Sergei Fedorov, but the puck wouldn't lie down. Look at the puck in the air. He never did get much of it. That time, Patrick Waugh watched it until he had the webbing squeezed around it from our Southwest Airlines goal cam. Say, look, okay, I'm 1 for 2 on Statue of Liberty. I'm coming back.
He's amazing. He is amazing. Cleared off the boards and out to center. Face-offs distinctly in favor of Detroit in the first, 63 to 37%. Sergei Fedorov took the most when he ended up 3 for 6 in the period. Off the far side, little line change going, blocked by DeVries into the corner off Draper. Near side, Fisher stepped up. Ryan Prett chased deeper. Fisher gives him a little push, came back to Drury though. Drury looking through the middle. Avalanche with only 4 shots. Obviously, their shooting stars did not get much of a chance in that period. Drury, Forsberg, Ryan Prett, none of them got a shot on goal. Sakic had 1. Brought back in by Drury. Poke checked away by Chelios. Turned up ice with Colorado changing. Detroit will match the change. Here's Hull. Shot blocked. Went off the stick of Blake all the way to center. Fisher will come back to get it. Messier was moving in on him. That's Stefan Yell. Yell waiting. They clear the zone. He tries to bring it in and does on the dump in. Dominik Hasek back in behind the net. Hard around near side. Chips out of there off the boards by Devereaux. Length of the ice for an icing call.
Boy, a couple of guys have limped off after their first shift here in period number 2. Peter Forsberg for Colorado and Brett Hull. Now looking like he's turned around to talk to John Morton, the athletic trainer of the Detroit Red Wings, to see who follows him down the runway. No, it's a good sign when Brett Hull walks to the locker room and the athletic trainer doesn't follow him. Gosh, the stick actually went right through his blade. It got stuck in his skate blade. That's why Rob Blake let it go, but it kept Brett Hull from getting his footing under him again.
Wow. Right into the blade. Back to Foot. Foot a shot. That one blocked in front. Foot will chase it down himself. Tried to center. Blocked by Lidstrom. Trepanier tied up. Puck still loose. Side of the net. Lidstrom cleared it off the boards. Red Wings have a chance. Nope. 3-on-3. Messier gets back. Almost an odd man rush. Point chance taken. Shot went wide to the near side and out of the zone. Devereaux had a couple of chances in this game. Duchesne will chase this one down and whistle behind the play. We're going to get at least one penalty called here. Terry Fraser way behind the play is taking Robitaille and Foot.
Detroit 22 minutes each roughing.
And I mean behind the play. That was at the other end of the ice.
And that is why the 2-ref system, I think, is important, because there's so much stuff going on in all areas of the ice this time of year. It's more than one man can handle.
So we'll end up with a 4-on-4 after this little tussle between those two.
That shot just whistled by. It was by Frederick Olofsson, and Adam Foote took Robitaille down with a big pitchfork move. When Luc Robitaille got up, he lashed out with a cross check. And at that point, Kerry Fraser said, okay, I'm going to take you both.
2:09, the time of the matching minors, 4-on-4. First 4-on-4 that we've had in the game. In the middle for Sergei Fedorov. Fedorov, Fisher on the left with him. Fedorov, chance, save made. He got all of it. Let's check in with Brian downstairs. Brian Engblom.
Bill Clement talked about how tough it is to cover Peter Forsberg, and the Detroit defensemen are showing him an awful lot of respect, maybe sometimes a little too much. In tonight's game, his head is always up. He's looking to see if there's any help from behind. There isn't, so at this point he decides, this is all me. Oh, what a great move he made. In the last game, on the rush, look at the room and the space that he gets in between himself and the Detroit D. He'd already sneaked the peek. Nobody was coming from behind. So again, he decides, it's all me. And when it's all me, boy, there's a lot of talent there.
The leading scorer in the playoffs. That one came outside the line. Olofsson had tried to set it up the Lidstrom. Olofsson back. Yzerman's got it. 4-on-4 here. Shanahan credited with the goal that has given Detroit the 1-0 lead towards the end of that first period. Poke checked away from Olofsson. Hayduk in the middle. Pass behind him. Lidstrom turns it. Fedorov's got it. Fedorov and Yzerman the forwards. Lidstrom. Olofsson have been out there defensively. Fedorov again, dropped it off. Shot Yzerman outside of the net. We mentioned Scotty Bowman wanted his team lugging the puck into the zone and not dumping it. They are doing that here in this game. Peter Forsberg knocked away by Chelios.
You see what happened in the last Sergei Fedorov rush. When you let him get speed in the neutral zone, he is like Peter Forsberg, what Brian just showed us. When Fedorov gets his speed, he backs defenseman off and gives him time to get his big shot away.
Chelios was in the big battle. Here comes Fedorov again. Shot up by Skula, saved by Waugh. Fedorov chasing down. There's a whistle behind the play. Another whistle at the other end of the ice.
Well, Steve Walkham said, okay, my turn. It's at my end. I think he's going to take both Kirk Mulvey and Darius Kasparaitis.
Penalty, Mulvey, holding. Minor penalty him, unsportsmanlike conduct. Diving.
All right, Darius Kasparaitis gets a dive and Kirk Mulvey gets a hold.
You figure out who's doing what.
I can figure that out. Steve Walkham's calling penalties there. I got that figured out.
Kind of interesting, this great series between these two teams back to '96. This is the anniversary date when the last fight occurred where these two teams played. There have been like 29 games since then. There's not been one fighting major. But on this date, back in 1996, it was the Claude Lemieux, Chris Draper major.
And where have you gone, Claude Lemieux?
Long gone. Draper, of course, still here. Here's Chris Draper was involved in that got so much publicity, and everybody kinds of thinks, you think of these two teams playing against each other, everyone thinks, oh my gosh, it's fight and blood and everything. There hasn't been a fight penalty since that one in '96.
No, Patrick Roy used to get involved. Everybody was involved. But no, the stakes are high right now, and if anybody expects to fight, forget about it.
This is about winning a game. 3:16, Maltby Kasparaitis go on the holding and the unsportsmanlike. We remain 4-on-4. Fisher picks that one up. Near side boards, a lot of room out there for the speedsters. Fisher back, Larionov's open, save Waugh. Came out and cut the angle down on that one. Larionov got it back, twists, turns, got tied up from behind. Skula got a piece of him. Chelios steps up, tried to hold it in. He's got to come back to get it, and he did. Got it back to Fisher. He had Sakic right on him. 1-0 Detroit leading here, second period. A Detroit win in Game 7 in Detroit on Friday. Avalanche win. It'll be the Canes and the Avalanche in the final. Picked up by Skula. Drury and Sakic up front are heading to the bench. Skula skates that way and dumps it in. That'll force Fisher in behind the net. Turned around by Reinfret. Gets the pass through center ice. DeVries is going to have to chase this down. Datsu coming over for Detroit. You saw DeVries turning around trying to figure out whether there's going to be an icing call there or not, and there was not. Linesmen were hollering it out for him. On the off wing, Forsberg makes the turn. Peter Forsberg pass to the point. Couldn't be handled. Off the near side, Hayduk turning. DeVries poked it into the middle, intercepted back up. Pass a little too far ahead for Devereaux, and that will be touched up by Foote for the icing call. Wings on top here by a score of 1-0. 15:22 to go in the period. Our Bud Light Stanley Cup summary. Congratulations, Carolina Hurricanes, their first Stanley Cup final appearance. And the road team winning 8 of 11 games here in the conference finals.
Red Wings look like a really relaxed team with the lead. Doing a lot of things right. And Colorado has not been able to generate any attack at all. I mean, when the Avs have crossed the blue line looking like they've had a chance, it gets swallowed up. 1-goal lead or score tied. Well, yeah, just about 97% of this series.
1 shot on goal in this period for Colorado. 5 shots on goal in the game. 13-5. Detroit with the advantage. Yell on the faceoff. It'll be won back by Steve Yzerman. Detroit's had the advantage, as we said, on the draws here so far. Shanahan's pass blocked by Trepanier. Dumps it deeper into the corner. Yell came back to try and get it. Trepanier was flying by there. Trepanier getting a chance. He played 3 minutes 2 seconds in the first period. This is second game of the playoff year.
And he can skate. He's a defenseman by trade. Played a couple of games at forward during the season. But he's quick, and you've got to be quick to play against Detroit.
Boy, a couple of shots by Steve Duchesne, including an Avalanche player down on the ice. Steve Duchesne laid out Stefan Yell. There was a retaliatory effort made against him, and he knocked the other guy away.
Could the Avs lose 4 guys in 4 games? Watch Steve Duchesne with this hit on Yell. Yell's leg went down under him, and it looked ugly. Ugh. Remember, the Avalanche lost Mike Keane in Game 3. They lost Alex Tanguay in Game 4. They lost Dan Heinold in Game 5. They're running out of bodies. One of the keys here, though, is that their top 6 have stayed healthy. The top 2 lines have stayed healthy. That looked like a clean hit by Duchesne to me, and it just was Stefan Yell's leg looking ugly under him.
It ended up with the check being up around the shoulders and neck because Yell was leaning way down when he was trying to handle that puck. And I'll tell you, this is a great sign after you saw where that leg went for him to be able to get up. and move away is
Well,
a
we'll
big
see.
positive, even if he can't stay in the game.
Yeah, it's better than a stretcher, but he's not putting any weight on it. Watch his right leg. Oh, my gracious. Ay, ay, ay. You know, there are certain replays that hurt from all the way up here.
That hurts.
This is one of them. This is one of them. Oh. That could be anything from ankle to knee to leg to groin to hip. Maybe all of it.
Obviously went directly to the dressing room. Maybe it's going to be Radim Virata is going to have to play a little more than anticipated. The 20-year-old line changes again.
They're running out of centers, though, Gary. That's the problem. Dan Heino could play center and did some in the last game. Yeah, but there's one thing. Steven Reinfeldt can also play center, so we'll see.
Here's Hayduk. Hayduk coming around the near side boards. Dropped that one off. Sakic centered by Wilsey. Deflected before it got on Dominik Hasek. Wilsey centered again. Sakic a chance. Hasek covers. A good cycling shift for the Colorado Avalanche.
Dominik Hasek's patented play. If the deflector or the tipper looks close enough to him that he can't get it up high, he will simply go down and take away low. Try not to leave anything down low. There were two chances by the Avs. This was the first one. He went down low. The shot never got there, and he didn't have to really stack his pads tightly. The second one, it did get there. There's Dominik Hasek going down, stacking his pads. Really, Joe Sakic had no daylight to chip it over him.
Chris Drury will move in to take the face-off. Drury, Reinfeldt, back to DeVries. DeVries, a big screen. Shot saved by Hasek. And a penalty coming up in front of the net. Delayed call. It's a holding call on Detroit.
Penalty, 33 Detroit. Holding.
That is Chris Draper. And he is off for the hold.
And he didn't protest at all. With a pile up in front, he felt as though he had to hang on to prevent a rebound scoring chance.
Well, right off the face-off, when you lose it cleanly, you're pretty well obligated to grab something on the center to keep it from getting to the net, and that was the hold on Chris Drury by Chris Draper. Now, Chris Chelios doesn't like the call, but I got to tell you, when you lose a face-off cleanly, and I played a lot of centers, that's when you're almost obligated to do something. It's illegal to keep your guy from getting to the net.
First power play shot by Blake. Deflected away. Forsberg behind the net. Forsberg, Reinfeldt. Sakic's playing it wide with Blake. There's Sakic. Back over to Blake. Shot, saved, deflected. I think that got Hasek and came back out. It went off somebody and hit Dominik Hasek.
I don't think it got him where he wanted it to get him because he looked like he had his glove ready to grab it.
0 for 7 last two games on the power play for the Avs. Colorado with the advantage here on the power play. Forsberg, his pass deflected away. Detroit trying to clear. They do to Fedorov. Fedorov, short-handed expert, moves it in. Fedorov a chance, deflected off the near side. The Colorado power play during the regular season was 18%. Less than that in the playoffs, 14.3. Off the boards, Adam Foote knocked it down. There's Fedorov knocking it away. Sometimes forget Sergei Fedorov is a former winner of the best defensive forward in the National Hockey League. He doesn't just score. Brought back in by Hayduk down the middle, tied up, flipped it on net. Hasek gonna knock it away. Milan Hayduk, who has led this team in shots against Detroit but doesn't have anything in the last 4 games, went down the middle and almost got the flip on a one-hander. Sakic near side, tied up by Larionov and taken down, and it's cleared by Lidstrom. Why came out to catch Detroit in a line change. Cleared back in by Foote. Hasek goes back to slow it down. Fisher, hard wrap around near side. Blake bounced off him. Blake knocks it into the corner. Wilsey's got it. Wilsey for Reinfeldt, taken away by Lidstrom. 17 seconds left on the Colorado power play. Forsberg will come back to pick it up. Colorado 4 for 21 against Detroit on the advantage. In. Marty Skula waits for Forsberg. Hit by Hasek before it got to Forsberg. The penalty is over. 2 shots on goal on the power play. Open in the middle. Skula! Side! Reinfeldt trying to back it in. Darren McCarty blocked it. Back out to center. It's loose. Draper's going to get away. Draper coming in a 2-on-1. Shanahan open shot. Save made by Waugh. Ended up in a 3-on-1. Shanahan had the chance. Backhander save made. Draper tried to put it home. Shanahan back on top. Shot Fisher. That deflected off the bodies in front. Drury picks it up. End of his shift here. So Skula will head to the bench.
Boy, the Red Wings look good with a 1-0 lead. Just wait till you see what they look like with a 2-0 lead if they can get one.
There goes the stick in the puck as Holmstrom trying to tip it towards the net. Adam Foote without a stick. Robitaille cleared it back in behind the net. Foote gets a forward stick, get his own stick back in the middle shot. That one wide of the net by Olesen. Take down behind the net. It is tough. See Duchesne getting into it along the near side with Trepanier. Knocked down Kasparaitis. Kasparaitis, the puck rolled away. Take back up by Rico Hall. Hall cleared it up and went through Duchesne to center.
Oh, man. Kasparaitis and Holmstrom still going at it. Right beside Patrick Waugh. Velcro, hockey, everywhere.
Larionov gets it over to Duchesne to Robitaille. Robitaille back to Duchesne for a one-timer. It was an aerial. He couldn't get a stick on. Kasparaitis cleared it up. Sticks, pucks, gloves laying on the ice in the middle. Hejduk cutting. Shot, save made, and held on to as Sakic had the opportunity. Detroit leads it 1-0.
Milan Hejduk moments ago with this rush looked like it was stopped. He got a one-hand shot away at the other end. It was a 2-on-1 that resulted in a good scoring chance by Brendan Shanahan. Super save by Patrick Waugh. Odd man rushes. Generally, the Avalanche have had more in this series than Detroit. In this game, 3 odd man rushes for the Red Wings, not 1 for Colorado. That tells me a couple of things. Detroit is playing really tight defensively, and they've got a lot of jump when pucks come loose.
Sent back in by Fedorov, but on the offside. 10:34 to go, second period. The Shanahan goal. A 1-0 lead for Detroit. ESPN tomorrow evening. Bob Lee hosts another edition of the Emmy Award-winning Outside the Lines. It's the encore presentation of Broken Trust, Coaches, and Sexual Abuse tomorrow at 9 Eastern on ESPN. Gary Thorne, Bill Clement, and Brian Engblom here in Denver. The Colorado Avalanche here at home have split the 2 games these teams have played here. Red Wings had a 2-1 win. The Avalanche a 3-2 win in the other.
What a war it's been for Tomas Holmstrom. Has he come to play? Darius Kasparaitis answering.
Taken away by Adam Foote. Kasparaitis has kind of understated, I think, this year. He's playing at a +10 this playoff year, tied with Peter Forsberg for the best plus-minus for the Avalanche. He said this morning, I said, do you think having to play a more controlled kind of game has helped you? He said, it's made me a better player. Poke checked away to the point, turned back in. Adam Foote held it in. See, Foote was way down low and still is. Sakic covering. Sakic wristed, and he went wide with it. Had a little room. Hull trying to get it out of there. Couldn't get it by Larson. Picked up by Kasparaitis. Kasparaitis with a drop pass as a cut to the middle. Deflected back to the near side. You can't tell defensemen from forwards the way they're playing right now.
Well, most of them have numbers on them, but other than that, you can't tell.
They're all in the
Really,
same place.
honestly, you look up and Matthew Dandino will be right in front. Adam Foote will be in front for Colorado. And you brought it up in the first period, Gary, and that's what makes this game potentially a terrific hockey game. It already is. But with both teams playing to win. I mean, neither of these teams is sitting back. We've seen Colorado do that more consistently than Detroit. The Red Wings try to play a control game. They're sending everybody in this one.
Forsberg waited. Maltby put a shot on him. Maltby drove it back in. Maltby and Forsberg exchanged pleasantries, sticks, and poke checks. Forsberg went down on the ice, no call. McCarty put the big hit on Foote. Cleared out by Rico Hall on net. Now Nikashik's got to play it. Left it near side. Chelios to Fisher. Fisher had a man come. Forsberg stole it. Forsberg in. Forsberg dropped it back. Shot. He couldn't direct it towards the net. He was going short side. It went a little wide on the short. Chelios was right there with him.
I think his first notion was to get it over to Verbata. When that's sealed up, he went short side high.
8:46 left to go, second period. Must-win game for Detroit to send it to a Game 7 here in the beautiful Mile High Country. The Shanahan will get it. A face-off win for Yzerman. Red Wings with a 1-0 lead. That'll be chipped up onto the bench for the whistle. 15-11 now the shots. The Avalanche have come back a little bit in that regard. Brendan Shanahan was the man that Scotty Bowman mentioned after the last game when he banked one off the pipe. Said when you get that close and get that many chances, all you got to do is keep going. Keep wanted Shanahan to hear that and to know he didn't expect him to do anything else except what he was doing. And tonight he's got the first goal. And the only one so far. Fisher. Fedorov's got it. Blocked by Messier. And finally just flipped into the zone by Chelios. Played behind the net by DeVries. Greg DeVries having trouble getting that puck to sit. Fisher sends it back. Shanahan the interception. Taken back and still in the zone. Turned finally by Trepanier to center. Knocked down by Fisher. That was Messier cut again. Back it comes to Adam Foote. Colorado's got a man deep in the zone. Foote had a ragged back, couldn't control it. Yzerman stole it from him. Yzerman still has it on the wall. Colorado and Detroit will change. Foote moving it back up. Sakic's on the right. Not touched. Sakic trying to avoid the icing call on the reach in. Couldn't get there in time. Let's check in now with Brian Ingram. Brian.
The only goal in this hockey game is because of a Patrick Waugh mistake. And when Patrick Waugh makes a mistake, he gets mad. When he gets mad, he gets even. Let's take a look at what happened on that play and then how he's played since then. This is the goal. He thought he had it, but it wasn't. It wasn't in his glove. Since that time, he has been a completely different guy. Look at his posture and his body language in this second period and all the saves that he's made. Patrick is a tactician. He has got excellent form, and when he's on top of his game, he looks like that. So do his eyes. And when he plays like that, it transfers to his team, and I think his team knows he's back on top of his game. He's going to have to be because, Bill, you mentioned Detroit is sending everybody in this game.
Well, Brian, as we know, you have to play at this time of year, especially with a whole bunch of little compartments in your brain, and everything that happens has to be locked up in a compartment and left behind, whether it's good or bad. I don't think anybody's ever been any better at doing that than Patrick Waugh.
More playoff games than anyone in the history of the league. This is his 239th career playoff game. He broke the record a couple of games ago. Centering pass. Drury almost. Drury was waiting. The puck skipped across in front of him. Larionov. His chance blocked. Larionov ran it right back in on Waugh with Holmstrom charging and shoving in front on Adam Foote.
Boy, I'll tell you, Demolition Man is certainly earning that nickname in this game. Thomas Holmstrom of the Detroit Red Wings has come with his bulldozer mentality ready to go. It's just charged any puck, any person, anytime, anything right around Patrick Waugh. Every time he's on the ice, he stands a chance of being in one of our replays. So active.
They're taking a shot at the net. He'll be a goaltender, and then Thomas Holmstrom.
Right. You know, he doesn't skate that well, but he gets there. And he usually gets there with kind of a snarl on that makes him really hard to play against. He is so atypical. We think of the Red Wings, we talk about their Hall of Fame guys, the smooth skating, great skill. You need guys like Holmstrom to do a lot of the dirty work.
Wilsey cleared that one in wide of the net. It'll be touched up for another icing call as Dandino came back to get it.
Well, one of the members of the Detroit Red Wings coaching staff, Barry Smith, wasn't here for the morning skate. All the Red Wings were and all the coaching staff was here, but Barry Smith was not here. Why? Well, not far from Denver is Colorado Springs, and in Colorado Springs is the Air Force Academy, and his son Ryan, Barry's son Ryan, graduated today. He's going to be an F-16 pilot, so Barry Smith was able to attend the graduation. Also hear Donald Rumsfeld speak. Barry knows that if San Jose had won the series against Colorado, he wouldn't have been able to go today. And coaches will never tell you who they're cheering for, but you know somewhere in the back of Barry Smith's mind, he was thinking as a dad.
There is no question that's exactly where he wanted to be today, and it was about the only way it was going to happen is if they were playing here. Blake came back on the touch-up. 6:46 to go here in the period. The Wings still leading it by a score of 1-0 in our Visa storyline. Brendan Shanahan, the 5th goal of the playoffs, his first of this series. Peter Forsberg, 27 points, leads the NHL scores this playoff year. Tonight, one shot.
One shot, but a lot of friction. So our Visa replays feature Peter Forsberg, but here he was actually hanging on to Kurt Maltby. Adam Foote probably assumed that it was Maltby that was taking Forsberg down. I'll tell you what, anytime around the bench, it's like trying to play dodgeball in a traffic circle when the line changes.
Skula drops it back. Forsberg tipped it into the middle. This could be an on-man rush the other way. On the right side is Maltby, brought back in by McCarty. Shot. Score! Dan McCarty! And the Detroit Red Wings have a 2-0 lead. He scored a hat trick in the first game. He had not scored since. He gets one here in Game 6.
And another odd man rush for the Red Wings. Mention that it's a double-edged sword. You send your defensemen, you activate them, you make sure they're involved. But against the Detroit Red Wings, if you make a mistake, you're going to end up with an odd man rush the other way. The fourth odd man rush for the Detroit Red Wings. That was Marty Skula, number 41, that went in deep. His pass misfired. He caught himself with his own pass. McCarty took one look over to the right and said, no, baby, I'm going to take this one myself. And Patrick Roy rarely gives anybody any room on the short side. McCarty picked up on that. His fourth goal in this series. And Darren McCarty has given the Red Wings a 2-0 lead.
And Patrick Roy, by the positioning that time, certainly looked as though he'd lost track of exactly where he was, because rarely will you see that much net behind Roy. So the Detroit Red Wings trying to take this to a Game 7, have a 2-0 lead. Played behind the net. Maltby. McCarty waiting along the wall for it. Picks the man instead. Cleared up the near side. Draper, Maltby, McCarty, the grind line back together in this game. Darren McCarty's goal is unassisted at 13:27. He's got 4 this playoff year, and all of them have come against the Colorado Avalanche. Near side, knocked away off Duchesne. Came to the point, got to be brought back in too soon. That will be whistled. So the Detroit Red Wings on the goal by Darren McCarty. He's the only player to give Detroit a 2-goal lead in this series.
Well enough to put up these kind of numbers. 7 of his 20 career playoff goals against Patrick Roy. 4 in this series.
Brett Hull's the other who has Roy's number. He's had 10 playoff goals against Roy. Cam Neely's the all-time leader with 17. Reinpret into the corner. Check put on by Lidstrom. Let's see what Shanahan gets. 2 or 4 or more. It's a high sticking call. Larson took it in the face. They're going to go over and take a look to see if it drew blood or not, because that often will automatically result in a double minor. Doesn't look like it.
No.
Shanahan actually went back after Larson, and then Larson came after him.
Brad Larson couldn't get up there quickly enough with a sharp fingernail.
Minor penalty on the play. Number 14, Detroit. High stick.
Steve Walken with the call. Watch Larson and Shanahan. Yeah, there was contact. I don't think it was as hard as Brad Larson made it look, but then again, that's the way it's done these days.
That's what angered Brendan Shanahan.
Hear what he said? He hooked me. But he did, but you still can't touch another guy in the face with his stick.
High sticking, 14:36. Don't cry.
Don't cry.
We remind you again, though, if the stick's up, it doesn't matter how you retouch it or not. 14:36, time of the penalty. Second power play of the game for the Colorado Avalanche. Chance to cut this to a 1-goal lead. Forsberg is in front of the net. Sakic and Blake are back along the point. Milan Hajduk and Drury up front. Third back up. Sakic. Blake. One-timer. Didn't get it. Drury taken out of the play by Chelios. Got it to Forsberg. Tried to chip it wide side. He did. Loose shot. Hajduk save. Rebound. All the way back to the Blues. Sakic gets it over to Blake again. Great tip pass down low. Drury's in front of the net now, along with Forsberg. Sakic, one-timer, missed it wide. Vaughan in front, shot. What a save! Unbelievable! Chris Drury. It bounced off and came to the near side boards. Forsberg broke his stick, and it's cleared out. Sakic got it back. Detroit could not get a line change here, but neither could Colorado.
Is this the game Dominik Hasek is going to steal? Well, he might not have to. He's got 2 goals to work with. A luxury in this series for either team.
Colorado Avalanche still have a minute left on their power play. They are 4 for 22 in the series against Detroit on the advantage. Sent back in by Verbaat. Played around Hasek. 2 eyes him, and he wants an out. Doesn't get it the first time. Fedorov does. Sergei Fedorov. Job of penalty killing here tonight and throughout the season. Really magnificent.
He does everything.
That's about work. I mean, that's effort. Penalty killing is effort.
If you want to talk about an all-around player, it is Sergei Fedorov. He can play center, play the wing, power play expert, one of the hardest shots in the NHL, maybe the second hardest behind Al McInnes. Can skate like the wind, very strong. Have I left anything out yet?
Yes, he played defense.
There you go. Also can play defense.
He played 7 games of defense. Blake, his shot blocked by Duchesne. with 14 seconds left on the power play.
Dominik Hasek can only play one position, but he's won 6 Vezinas doing it. With the best goalie during the regular season. He's won 2 MVPs. He's never won a Stanley Cup, and that's what he wants on his resume. A block here flat on his face. He was still able to see that one from Hejduk. Then this chance here. Hejduk chopped it to Drury. Dominik Hasek got it with his shoulder, then it went off the post. His shoulder, then the post, and then how did it not go in?
Watch, the puck is pinned up between his helmet and the post.
There. Oh. Well, you know you're living right. You know you're living right when you just back into the puck and it squeezes off to the outside of the post and not the inside.
No dandruff with head and post. Cleared back to Blake. Stephon Yell, a neck strain. A neck strain is the report from downstairs. Uncertain about a return. I think he broke his ankle. Brought back in. Larionov, a chance. Save made by Waugh.
Neck strain.
Neck strain. His leg bent underneath him, and he has a neck strain.
Not only that, it's Dan Heino's neck.
Oh, my gosh. Maybe the best lie of all time. That'll be flipped up in the air. Lidstrom coming back to get it. Cleared around the far side. The power play. Unable to convert on it. The Colorado Avalanche. They've had a couple of chances. And a penalty coming here. Gary Fraser making the call. And Detroit's going to be shorthanded again.
25 Detroit, 2 minutes slashing on the wrist.
Well, the other thing we should point out is that you can go from 0 to 0 pretty quickly this time of year, depending on whether or not you're the guy scoring the goal or the guy going to the penalty box. So Darren McCarty, for the moment, the hero that has given the Red Wings a 2-0 lead, now has to sit an excruciatingly long 2 minutes. He just hopes that it lasts 2 minutes for him. Because if it doesn't, that will mean Colorado has scored. Here's the play. That was a pretty good job right there on Pascal Trepanier. He got him on the arm.
John and Barry standing by. The Canes and their defense, and Barry's breakdown coming up on our Southwest Airlines intermission report. McCarty goes out of there at the 17-minute mark. Third power play of the game for the Colorado Avalanche with a face-off at the top of the circle. Shots in the period 9-8 in favor of Detroit. Colorado's got to get this power play going if they're going to get back into this game. Off the near side. Reinfeld dumped it back into the corner. Hasek came up, cut off Hejduk, got it to Chelios, who clears. Detroit Red Wings, of course, have been the shorthanded experts here in this playoff year with 6 shorthanded goals scored. Forsberg dumped it in. Hard off the glass to Hejduk. Hejduk up for Blake. Blake, one-timer. High. Cleared back in. Yzerman tried to get it. Deflected, though. Up and into the seats, and it'll come out to center as Yzerman never touched that. Remains a 2-0 Detroit lead. Join ESPN tomorrow evening, 9 o'clock. Bob Lee hosts another edition of the Emmy Award-winning Outside the Lines. The encore presentation of Broken Trust, Coaches, and Sexual Abuse tomorrow night at 9 Eastern on ESPN. Gary Thorne, Bill Clement, and Brian England and our crew on hand here in Denver. We will be in Detroit Friday night if there is a Game 7. We're a long way from knowing that yet.
But I will tell you that the Detroit Red Wings have come with just an incredibly professional effort here. They were stable from the get-go in the first period. They took it away from Colorado near the end of the first period. Colorado didn't get a shot the last 14 minutes of the first period. They come, they get a 1-0 lead. They expand on that. They have been patient, and Colorado has not had one odd man rush in this game. That is how good defensively Detroit has been. Colorado has given up 4 odd man rushes in the process of trying to get some offense going.
Are they challenging? They are challenging Dominik Hasek's stick.
You know what they're challenging? Steve Walken just told us. They're challenging the width of the blade.
They're going for a power play here.
The width of the blade.
If that stick is illegal,
and I think it's 3.5 inches,
it will be a power play for Colorado. If it is legal,
the other way around. Look at this. It's sliding all the way. Sliding all the way. If it slides all the way, then it looks like it's legal.
Pretty darn close.
And if it's legal,
it's a power play the other way. So let's get the call.
Yep. Well, he gave the stick back to him. Guess what?
Minor penalty, bench penalty, unsustained request for measurement of the goaltender's stick, 2
power play with 2:23 to go in the period.
Well,
Bob Hartley challenged the stick of Dominik Hasek, believing it was illegal. It was not.
they were going for the 5-on-3, weren't they? Colorado going for the 5-on-3 power play because McCarty's already in there. Look, Dominik Hasek, I know it's legal. That's right. I'm bad. Give it back to me. I measured it before the game. The caliper went all the way up and down the plate. It looked like it stuck a little bit on the tape. So Bob Hartley rolled the dice on that play. Now, the downside isn't as bad as you might think. It's going to be 4-on-4 for 1:22, and then Detroit will have a power play for 38 seconds. So what Bob Hartley was going for was a 5-on-3 power play to try to get on the board.
He did not get it. So a 2-minute penalty goes up, a bench minor called on the Avalanche. There's a 1:22 left on the Detroit penalty. So we will skate 4-on-4.
Somebody handed out some misinformation on that, because usually when you go for a measurement, you somehow, some way, your CIA operatives have already gone for the measurement and they know that it's illegal. Something went wrong there.
So they did not get it. So we're 4-on-4. The Red Wings lead it by a score of 2-0. Rarely do you see a team challenge the stick situation anymore in games. They tried it there. Foot shot, save, Hasek, and a beauty.
Gary, to me, that tells you what kind of dire straits Bob Hartley felt that his team would be in going into the third period, down 2-0 to the Red Wings.
Wanted to get that goal here to end this period.
Absolutely.
And understandable. Don't want to go into that third period down 2-0, as they are right now. Foot had trouble with it. Blake gets it. Drops it back. Red Wings are going to have the power play in about 33 seconds. Right in front of Patrick Roy. Peter Forsberg starts it up ice. Forsberg dropped it into the middle. Blake a trailer. Blake, chance, block. Hits high up the glass. Sakic got it. Sakic over to Blake. Sakic, Forsberg. DeVries and Blake out there. Turning. Forsberg trying to center. Lost Chelios. Cleared around the near side. Again, nobody was back. Nobody was back along the blue line. Larionov in. His shot save made by Waugh. Blake turns around to get it. Cleared back up to the point, but not up. Olsen, his wrister, save Waugh. Rebound knocked down. Power play now underway. 38 seconds worth of power play time. Patrick Waugh will hang on. So Detroit is on a power play here with 56 seconds to go in the period. 2-0 Wings.
ESPN's coverage of it.
Well, we want to make sure you're updated here as we end the second period. The stick call challenge by Hartley did not work. Ended up in a bench minor on his team. They've lost another player, Stefan Yell, out with an injury, so they've got a short bench that they're having to use in this game in any event. And they have been outshot in this game 21-14 now by Detroit. And outchanced in the odd man rushes as well.
Colorado has now lost a player in each of the last 4 games to injury. And Detroit is healthy.
Coming into this game, the Detroit Red Wings had outshot Colorado by 40. They had 26 more scoring chances. Colorado had the advantage in odd man rushes 20-14. That has been reversed tonight. Off the near side for Lidstrom. 48 seconds to go in the period. Power play Detroit. Hull, one-timer deflected. Yzerman trying to get it over him. Hit the outside of the net. Rebound. Head one out of the net. Robitaille got tied up before he could turn it in. Adam Foote had the blocking. Played back in by Lidstrom. Hit put on by Kasparaitis.
One difference by the Detroit Red Wings. They got sick and tired of seeing all of their big blasts blocked. Lidstrom faked and passed, and you're going to see a lot of that because they know that Colorado will go down to try to block.
Power play is over. Back to Robitaille. It went right straight through onto Waugh. Up the near side on the flip. Wilsey got it out of there. 12 seconds left to go. One shot on that short power play for the Wings. Cleared back into the zone. Blake coming back to get it. 19:21 of the first period. Shanahan from Yzerman and Fedorov. And 13:27 of this period. McCarty unassisted. And the Detroit Red Wings, who must win, have a 2-0 lead to take to the third. Chelios got wrapped up out there with Adam Foote at the buzzer.
And before that, he got... Well,
Dude! Nestea cool. Cool to the core.
I want to feel like I'm at a stadium or a movie theater, but still have a place to spend some quality family time.
I got you covered. AT&T Digital Cable.
perfect.
Lots of sports, great movies, and quality family entertainment. AT&T Digital Cable. Everything you're looking for. AT&T Digital Cable. Home improvement made easy.
You could save up to 50% on your energy bills. How? With windows from the Security Door and Window Store. We carry only the highest quality windows by Allside. Windows built to last with the ultimate in strength and timeless beauty. Visit our showroom and discover our exclusive removable oak trim, designed to give you the look you want and makes painting and maintenance easier than ever. For quality vinyl windows, doors, and siding, the local's choice is Security Door and Window Store. Call or visit our showroom in Brighton today.
This is what I want to see. Toon Disney. This is what I want to see. Yeah.
Toon Disney. Disney's all-toon channel with around-the-clock tunes starring all the best Disney characters. Toon Disney, built from the best tunes.
ESPN's coverage of the Stanley Cup playoffs is brought to you by the new movie Undercover Brother in theaters May 31st. And by 1-800-COLLECT. Save a buck or two.
Welcome back, everybody. Third period, guaranteed, going to be a good one. Red Wings with a 2-0 lead. How about this story? Detroit PR came in during the emission, said, guess what happened? First of the year, Bob Hartley, coach of the Avs, called and said, can you get us an autographed game stick of Dominik Hasek? They said, sure, and they sent it to him.
Because Bob Hartley sent Steve as a goalie and likes Dominik Hasek. Now, whether that had anything to do with the measurement, as smart as Dominik Hasek is, knowing Dominik, he might have sent an illegal stick on purpose.
That's right. What a beautiful story, huh? All right, we're ready to go. Third period. Detroit hangs on to this lead. There'll be a Game 7 that we'll have for you on Friday night from Detroit. Colorado, if they can come back and win this thing, then they will move on to the finals against the Canes. And we're underway here in the third period. Detroit leading at 2-0. Goals by Shanahan and Darren McCarty. The fifth of the playoffs for Shanahan and the fourth all in this series by McCarty. Sergei Fedorov picks it up, moves in. Chance fanned on. Kasparaitis takes him down. Brendan Shanahan, who left at the end of the last period to the locker room, is back on the bench. Stepan Yell of Colorado is gone for the game with what was described as a neck strain. There's Shanny.
When Brendan Shanahan went off at the end of the second period, it looked like he was favoring his left hand because his glove was off and he was shaking his hand out. His left hand is the top hand on the stick.
He still is.
Well, you can see how, look at it all taped up there. So it's all taped up. It might have been his wrist. Here's what happened. Adam Foote kind of took him down when he was on the forecheck, and when he went down, he got up, holding his wrist. His wrist was already taped, so you know that he was having trouble with it anyway, but there's a new tape job on it right now. Fortunately for Shanahan, it's the top hand on his stick, and he's not a center, but with the bottom hand, he'd have no chance of shooting, especially with that one-timer.
Take a look at the Avs here in this period. We'll keep an eye on what their line changes are going to be, line combinations, because they're hurting right now down the middle. As they have lost Stepan Yell, out is Alex Tanguay, out is Mike Keane, out is Dan Highnote, all with injuries. Darren McCarty around the net, drops it off. Draper coming in. DeVries trying to tie him up, took the puck away. Near side boards held in by Chris Chelios. Dropped it over for Darren McCarty. McCarty back the grind line, doing just that here, holding the puck in the zone with a 2-0 lead. Every second that ticks off that clock is to Detroit's advantage.
Gary, see where the play is in Colorado's zone? Excluding the really short overtime in Game 2. 15 consecutive periods now, the Red Wings have had zone time advantage.
That one fanned on by McCarty, but that line never had the puck out of the zone against them. Up the other way during the line change. Hejduk a move. Hejduk in. Hejduk a chance. Rolls right into Dominik Hasek. A gentle roll. Brian.
Gary, you and Bill have been talking about Dominik Hasek and the fact that maybe this is going to be the game that he steals. Well, with a 2-0 lead, you know it's a lot easier to steal. But let's take a look at his demeanor throughout this game. He's been really solid in covering rebounds. He's made really good Dominik Hasek-like saves at times where he's on his back. Like this one, how he kept out, I have no idea whatsoever. But there's a lot of tension, too. Early in the game, Chelios going, okay, Dom, okay. This was after they made it 2-0. You think he's feeling nerves? You think he's feeling tension? You bet.
He's feeling a sense they may get back for another game, I'll tell you that. Knocked into the middle, Drury able to steal it.
Saw the shots there. The Avs only have 15 shots. It's not as if Dominik Hasek has been forced to steal anything yet.
Played great defensively, intercepted.
It's a tough call to make.
On the advantage. Colorado trying to hold it in here. It's loose along the wall. Cleared out. Yzerman.
Boy, that is vintage Dominik Hasek on those saves. The last one was sensational against Steve Reinfeldt.
Colorado still with 25 left on the power play. Drury will dump that one in. It comes back up. Bravada. Radim Bravada looking into the middle. They've got Drury there. Pass to him. Drury. Chance. Hasek. Puck still loose. Rebound. Hasek trying to find it underneath him. Gets the whistle. Everybody on the ice was not only below the dots and the hash marks, they were in the crease.
Gary, Dominik Hasek is lying face down. He's getting up now. He looked shaken up before this play in front of him. I mean, when the play went down after his big save on Steve Reinfeldt, he hung his head down and he looked like he was in pain. Don't know what happened, but he is at least up on his knees. It looks like he's okay now. Joe Sakic, the half wind and fire. Great toe save by Hasek. Form is everything. Rob Blake there so wanted to be a left-hand shot. This is the play at the end. Radim Bravada, number 17 for Colorado, in there poking. Look at Kerry Fraser, the ref, hanging on the side of the net so we can see exactly where it was. From our Southwest Airlines goal cam. Dominik Hasek made one save. I don't think he knew it was right down under him until he got back to his knees and then somebody yelled at him.
Lidstrom clears it up and out of the zone. Yzerman won another faceoff. And the power play is over. 3 shots for Colorado on the power play, but they are 0 for 4 with the advantage tonight. And Detroit still has a 2-0 lead. Fedorov dumps it off in behind the net. Olesen clears it around the near side. Drury coming back to get it in his own end. Banked it off. Robitaille holds it in. Odd man rush down low. Just missed Tomas Holmstrom. Holmstrom. Larionov let it go. Robitaille on the near side. Robitaille has had some of his better scoring chances in this series, in this game. Taken back by Adam Foote. A Detroit win. We go to Detroit for Game 7 on Friday. Flip back into the zone. Dominik Hasek. Near side Robitaille trying to poke it away. Got tied up along the boards. Puck still sitting there. Reinfeldt able to dig it out. Drury. Reinfeldt back into the middle. Nice play by Duchesne. How about Duchesne's game? One of the most physical games I've seen Steve Duchesne play.
I think both Steve Duchesne and Matthew Dandino have had an underrated series. Mind you, they haven't had to play against the Forsberg or the Sakic lines, but they have been big, and Scotty Bowman has been able to count on them as really reliable defensemen throughout this series.
Been able to keep that rotation going among the defensive pairings. Cleared in from center ice by Danzig, the rookie. Wow will hold it up back in behind the net. DeVries turns it the other way. 24-19 the shots in the game. Favor Detroit. Blue line chance. Messier in a good one off the blocker. Oh, look. Hasek didn't know where it went.
You see what he did when he lost sight of it?
He did the cross.
He did the cross, absolutely, with his arms on the crossbar, so that if it came down, it had no chance of banging off the back of his arm or the back of his shoulder and in. Smart play. You could tell he was shaking his head as if he didn't know where it was. Up in the air. Now watch him. I don't know where it is. I don't know where it is. Okay. I better just decide to get against the post in case it drops. Right here. Don't know where it is.
It's in the seats, Dom. You're okay. Face-off in the dot, taken by Lidstrom. Another face-off win for Yzerman. Shot back in on the intercept by Adam Foote. Looking out in front for Bada. Swung around the far side. Not a lot of room there. And Yzerman can't get it out of the zone. Bravada drops it off. Knocked away. Foote's got to come back to get it. Adam Foote. Scoring chances. Not that much of a separation. Blake shot it in, but wide. Shanahan clears it up and out. Avs were changing it.
What that doesn't show is that a lot of the scoring chances for the Red Wings came on odd man rushes, and those are extremely dangerous scoring chances. Colorado doesn't have any of those.
That had been the difference in this series on a positive side for Colorado. That has not been a positive side for them in this game. Drury came over along the boards to run it in. Draper tied him up. DeVries reaching. Wilsey reaching. Got the puck. Wilsey gets hit by Fisher. He is another one of these scrums in the corner. McCarty almost took a head off, and it'll be chased back into the zone by Brian Muir. Muir circles his own net up for DeVries. DeVries, Forsberg, McCarty coming. Dropped it off, cutting to the net. Sakic. Little room at the top. McCarty covers. Shot in high. Hit on the glass and cleared out. McCarty got a piece of that to get it out of the zone. Detroit wants a line change here. Kasparaitis left it in the middle, couldn't control. Nick Lidstrom. Lidstrom will play it back for Chris Chelios.
Barry Fraser just picked up a couple of broken sticks. There's still a shaft out there. I'd say it's enough to start a lumber yard, but it would be a graphite yard or a Kevlar yard in today's day and age.
Good for placement around your pool, but you wouldn't want it on the siding. Yzerman, School of the hit on him. Back in behind the net. Kasparaitis back for it. All of this time is in Detroit's favor. As long as that 2-goal lead stays up and that clock keeps running, they get closer to home ice for Game 7. Center, Danzig left it down low. A little too tight to be handled. Play behind the net by Devereaux. Boyd Devereaux trying to get back up onto the side. Shot by Hull. Blocked out deep. Held in, though, by Dandino. Sends it back. Hull on the pickup. Devereaux couldn't handle that. Dandino will move up from the point as a defenseman and send it around to Hull. How much time has Detroit been able to spend in the offensive zone here in this period?
More than Colorado has in Detroit's zone. That has been the case in 15 straight periods. And you know, Gary, we talked about Scotty Bowman's notion of trying to wear down the big four defensemen. Attack, 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 sustain on the forecheck. Tell you what, they're right on schedule, and they're going to force a Game 7 here unless they collapse.
Here's Sakic moving it in. Joe Sakic taking off the play. Fisher came away with a puck. Sakic on the back check, freed it up again. Good coverage by Maltby on Larson. Swung around behind the net. Sakic came in, takes the bear hug. Puck's up against the boards. Bravada came in to help out. Larson came back to get a stick. I'm not sure if he's got his or the Detroit players. Red Wings are going to get a 3-on-1 rush the other way. Rabada trying to cut it down. 3-on-1 in the middle. Shot saved by Waugh. Whoa. Draper came up, took the shot himself. As the Avalanche again got caught back in front of their own net. A 2-0 Detroit lead almost midway through the third.
It ain't no thing. Undercover Brother.
You're too much man for me.
Rated PG-13 at theaters Friday.
I don't like to draw too much attention. I try to be subtle. But some things are obvious. Like saving a buck or two with 1-800-COLLECT. Saving has never looked so good.
1-800-COLLECT. Save a buck or two.
The Canon Rebel 2000. When circumstances change, you'll know how to turn a snapshot into a photograph. It's that simple.
Now that's creative.
The Rebel 2000 from Canon.
Using the wrong waterproofer can cost you thousands. Don't be taken for a ride. Demand Thompson's Water Seal. It has the highest level of water protection. Guaranteed. Powerful original. New advanced Thompson's Water Seal.
Feel it's not a bonfire unless they can see it from space. Know how to treat a lady and her cousin and neighbor and someone she kind of knows from the gym. Think aerobics is a sport? A spectator sport. Well, then you, my friend, have got a little captain in you. Cold, bold, Captain Morgan Gold. Premium malt beverage with a crisp new taste. What do you say? Got a little captain in you?
Don't drink if you're under 21.
Big action in behind Dominik Hasek. And when it goes the other way, look what Hasek does. He actually came out. He's still doing the cross. That time he was trying to screen, saying, look, I get screened all the time. I'm going to screen for somebody else. Almost looked like he was trying to hold the back checker's back.
That was a great shot. Dominik Hasek loves to direct traffic back there. Oftentimes, he's either like that, trying to hold up the opposition, or he's pushing his own players the other way to move up, move up.
Get up. Yep.
Fedorov dropped it for Shanahan. Shanahan leaving it back at a point. Red Wings on top 2-0 here, trying to force a game 7. Drury leaves it. Forsberg in. Forsberg ended up being a shot as Drury got level coming through the middle. Drury on the near side, back up, waits for the puck, had to come get it. Tried to center it, intercepted, and Chris Chelios clears. Another Colorado player, Rob Blake, is hurt. Blake is hurt and heading to the dressing room. Wow, the Avs are just losing key players now. Rob Blake went off the ice, bent over, and immediately went to the dressing room.
He didn't pass go, get 200 or anything. He did not stop. Pierre Lacroix said, wow.
Don't know what that was.
Dropping like flies. If Rob Blake cannot return to this game, that would be 5 Avalanche starters that are not in this game.
We invite you to join ESPN tomorrow evening, 9 o'clock. Bob Lee will be hosting another edition of the Emmy Award-winning Outside the Lines, an encore presentation of Broken Trust, Coaches and Sexual Abuse. That's tomorrow, 9 Eastern, ESPN. Game 7, Friday, in Detroit. We'll be there if it happens. Robitaille trying to run it in, had it blocked at center by Reinprecht. Reinprecht reaching at the blue line with Sakic there. Stolen away, though. Holmstrom cleared it back for Fisher. There's a group of people, a lot of people who would love to see a Game 7. Great hockey fans, I think, would. There's one group of people, though, that would love to see a Game 7 more than anyone else in the country. You'll find their names on the roster of the Carolina Hurricanes. Played back by Waugh. Skula comes back to get it. They're saying, boys, keep banging and playing out there and beat each other up. We'd appreciate it.
Play 8 if you want.
Play 8, play 9. Yeah. Wait, don't worry.
Don't worry, we'll just practice.
We'll be here. Right back in, far side by Devereaux. Through the top of the crease. Rico Hall goes back in behind the net, or tried. Cleared around for Larson, never touched it. Icing call coming on the touch right there. 9:48 remaining in a Game 6 in Denver. The Detroit Red Wings trying to make it a miserable night on a beautiful evening.
Skip Barber, Formula One racer, founder of one of America's best racing schools. He knows performance. He also knows new Quaker State oils are formulated for fine-tuned performance in different engines, like new Quaker State Full Synthetic for advanced engines. And only Quaker State offers a warranty covering all lubricated engine parts, even if you change your own oil.
Hey, it's been working for me.
For performance you can count on, Quaker State. Stay tuned.
Get a Jeff Gordon Championship race case when you buy Quaker State Peak Performance Motor Oil.
Feel it's not a bonfire unless they can see it from space. Know how to treat a lady and her cousin and her neighbor and someone she kind of knows from the gym. Think aerobics is a sport? A spectator sport. Well, then you, my friend, have got a little captain in you. Cold, bold, Captain Morgan Gold. Premium malt beverage with a crisp new taste. What do you say? Got a little captain in you?
Don't drink if you're under 21.
Pay gym membership, $55. Pay cable and phone bill, $83. Pay newspaper, internet, electric, gas, renters, and book club, DVD club, train pass, $220. Not needing a reminder for monthly bills? Priceless. Pay your monthly bills automatically and have less to remember. Learn how at MasterCard.com. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. A Game 6 in this classic matchup. The Red Wings and the Avalanche. Rob Blake down to the dressing room for Colorado. He has not come back. 9:48 to go here in this third period, with the Red Wings leading it 2-0. Left far side, Ryan Muir turns it back. Ian Kasparaitis out there defensively now. Ryan Muir is going to get more playing time as a defenseman here with Blake out of the game. Muir cleared that one up. He intercepted. McCarty had it knocked away. And that'll be sent from the red line in. An icing call coming on Lidstrom's touch.
Well, we think we've isolated the hit on Rob Blake that led to the injury. And it was Brendan Shanahan taking him to the boards. His shoulders were together. When he left the ice, it looked like he was hunched over. You could see him in the darkness there actually bending over. Now, he was playing with a damaged finger on what I believe is his right hand. That doesn't seem to bother him. He's been sending bombs at Dominik Hasek. Brendan Shanahan took him cleaning to the boards. So here's what we've got. Mike Keane out of the lineup, injured in Game 3. Alex Tanguay, Game 4. Heinold in Game 5. Stefan Yell and Rob Blake both out of the game in Game 6 here.
Amazing. Chelios gets it back near side. Save made. Cleared around the far side. Maltby with a good clean shot, but Waugh saw it all the way in. Dump back in behind the net as Detroit continues its third period territorial dominance here. And Ryan Muir with Draperani.
Rob Blake's excellent at getting the puck out of the zone. Rob Blake, number 2 in average ice time per game for the Colorado Avs in the playoffs, behind Adam Foote. That is how important he is to this unit.
And important, as Bill says, because he's one of the men who moves that puck up and out of the zone against the forecheck. Cleared back to Darren McCarty. 8:46 left to go here in the third. Feathered in by McCarty with a quick line change. The Red Wings are looking for their 6th win on the road this playoff year. They are 5-2 on the road. They've outscored the opposition 24-20 on the road. They have been a very good road team this playoff season. Cleared back up. Big hit. Kerry Fraser knocked down. Gets back up. Says he is all right.
Checking his head.
Adam Foote came over to ask if he was okay. And Kerry Fraser's heading over to the...
And he is in the minority of the refs that do not wear a helmet. It is at their option. But he is getting the athletic staff of the Avs to check him out.
He's laughing. He's smiling. Talking. He says no problem.
Of course, there are a lot of guys that would jokingly say Kerry probably only suffered fractured hair.
Scotty's worried about where the face-off's going to be.
I think it's a little deeper than the hair for Kerry. There is a cut. A pretty good gash. I'm sure he's asking if he needs stitches right away. And yeah, he got clunked in the head, and it was Frederick Olason's stick that hit him. Ouch, ouch, that hurt. But look at him, up and looking what's going on. Well, he saw blood right away.
Then he goes, oh man.
He just said he got me good.
Yeah,
he got me good.
He did too. Well, back out there though.
Tough guy. Underneath the youthful face for Kerry Fraser and the nice hair, he's one tough customer, and obviously so is Rob Blake after going to great pain. He looked like he was in a whole bunch of distress going to the locker room. Rob Blake is back for the Avs, and that is at least one sigh of relief.
That will be cleared into the zone. The Avalanche are listing Mike Keane and Alex Tanguay as day-to-day. There would appear to be no way that they are going to get Dan Heino back. We'll have no idea on Stefan Yell until Game 7 if there is one. Shot deflected. Hasek again out of the net. Run in wide by DeVries.
But did he ever help himself with a poke check? He got to the puck before DeVries did.
Foot shot is deflected up and into the seats by Lidstrom. This great playoff year continues with the Stanley Cup Finals. Waiting are the Canes to see whom they will face. If there is a Game 7, we will be there Friday Eastern Time on ESPN. The Eastern Conference Finals are done with Carolina winning over Toronto.
Well, if you think with a 2-0 lead, Dominik Hasek is going to just let the play come to him, forget about it. Look where he is out of the paint, diving on the poke check, getting before Greg DeVries did. Really an aggressive game for Dominik Hasek and a perfect game thus far.
We are glad you are with us.